Okay, and we're going to continue on with chapter 8, Blood for Flowers. We got a little interrupted there a bit, but back to chapter 8, Blood for Flowers. Okay. So it was, Thera and her party were welcomed into Scythia, and as in all the cities, the women of Themyscira bestowed gifts upon the kings and queens of each country that they visited on behalf of Queen Ethera. In Scythia, Thera bade farewell to Captain Lucia Vega, who would try for another daughter here in the land of the green-eyed Scythian men. Thera wished the other 22 ladies who remained well and thanked the king and his queen for the great hospitality shown to her and her good ladies. General Nandinos escorted Thera and the remaining 189 women through the Iron Gate Gorge between the southern tip of the Carpathian Mountains and the northern tip of the Balkan Mountains, to a narrow point of the Danube where an ancient stone bridge spanned the water. Thera, mounted on her massive black steed, led her party across to the other side, where a Dardanian escort sent by the king of Dardinia awaited. So it was, as they came and went from each city, the women were met by a security escort, for the king of Thrace, to the south, had made it clear to all the surrounding nations that he despised the women of Themyscira. And of course, this was all Thera's fault after what she had done last year in Thrace. Now, were it not for many letters of apology and wagon load after wagon load of gold that they sent to the king of Thrace on Thera's behalf, he would have decimated the entire city, the entire nation, if it were up to him. But his queen spoke to him, and she enjoyed gold, and she thought the best road for peace was diplomacy, along with the mountains of gold. And the words of his wife helped quell the king of Thrace's anger against the nation of women. So it was, the party of women traveled on at each palace, and they were treated with great kindness and respect. Thera had by now traveled from Dardinia to Macedon to Illyria, and when she and the other 39 women remaining left for Greece one fine warm spring morning, a large group of men approached on the road from the south. This was the women's security escort sent by King Viacles of Sparta himself. Now, as they moved closer, Thera and Captain Amara were shocked, as were all the ladies, to see that King Viacles had not only sent out his troops to welcome them, but he had come himself in person, riding with his Spartan warriors to greet the women of Themyscira, because he knew the queen's daughter was coming. Thera felt a strange wave of nervous tension fill her heart and mind. As the great king neared, she felt a chilling sense of fear and excitement rise up in her heart, which pulsed with the blood of her body, and her mind was filled with many thoughts. Okay. All right, let's see if we can do some more. All right. For this moment would be etched in Thera's mind forever. The bright blue cloudless sky, the new day sun just beginning to rise far off in the east. A cool wind blew down from the Dinaric Alps to the left on the western shores of Greece, the air sweet with apricot blossoms which opened up their soft pink petals like eyes in the sun. A rapid pulse in her blood increasing the pace of her heart, Thera's mouth became dry as the desert plains, and her palms became wet as a slight perspiration came to her lip, and she felt her brow fever as the 40 or so armored men approached. King Viacles sat atop a finely bred silver stallion dressed in full military regalia, the rays from Apollo shining brightly on his gold breastplate and his golden crown, which was a crown of laurel wreaths, each leaf handcrafted in pure gold. King Viacles rode towards Thera and the group of women at full gallop, his crimson cape flowing behind him, a golden light surrounding his head like a halo. His black eyes gave a mixed look of pleasure and intrigue as he stopped next to Thera, who had ridden out on the road to greet him ahead of the women. The two sat in their saddles, eye to eye, alone on the road together for just a moment. "Great King of Sparta," Thera said, speaking clearly with purpose, although she was incredibly nervous, so she had to choose her words carefully as not to appear flummoxed or stupid in front of the King of Sparta. "I bring you greetings and salutations from Queen Ethera of Themyscira," Thera said, having never met a Spartan. She looked upon the handsome king with his dark eyes ringed with green, black hair and beard, a small scar above his left eye, muscular arms and legs, massive hands, dark skin tanned by the sun, full pink lips, a deep voice and a flashing smile. "I bid you and your ladies welcome in my kingdom," the great king spoke as he took Thera in for a moment, only knowing of the Themysciran women from tales and legends. The deep red color of her long flowing hair intrigued him, for he had never seen a woman whose hair was not black like his. The deep emerald color of her bright eyes fascinated him, who had lived only amongst dark-eyed people. Viacles also noted her great height as she sat in the saddle eye to eye with him, both of their mighty steeds standing shoulder to shoulder, and their horses sniffed at one another, sensing each were of a foreign breed. Her long, lean, muscular arms and legs, her thick thighs and muscles, which had developed over years in the saddle, her smooth, soft skin. He noted here the women did, in fact, wax all the hair from their body, just as the Spartans. This part of the legend was true. The great king took Thera in with his eyes, and Viacles was well pleased. Now, as each party came up from the north and the south in the road, Thera and her ladies eyed the group of the most handsome, strong warriors they had ever beheld. The virgins, who had all remained with Thera, became filled with the nervous, anxious energy of lust, and the Spartan men, too, looked upon these brave, beautiful, red-headed women, tall, armor-clad, who had just walked out of their ancient myths and legends, as if from a dream and into their reality, for the breeding season would commence, and the Spartans were well pleased. Okay then. And that's going to be the end of chapter 8. We will be getting into more. I really enjoy writing these stories, but I enjoy much more reading them to you. So I do appreciate your time. I know it's very valuable. But remember, when it gets crazy out there, always come here, because I've got stories for you. And not just this. Wait till I read you One Dark Day, A Knife and a Nine Iron, Mistaken in Texas, Where There's Trouble. That is my crime story, which is set in modern day times. But I like this story right now because it took place thousands and thousands of years ago, where things weren't so crazy. Okay, so have a great day, and we'll come back next time. Much love from Texas.